Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Zygarde complete in the Open Ultra League, which is very interesting. You see here I have 6 cells, I'm not even close to that, so thanks to Icelandic Lapras here for sending in some battles. We're going to have an interesting team, double water in the back, which is going to cover for the ice type weakness of this Pokemon, because that's a very huge weakness there, double weak to ice, but also weak to those fairy types. So we're going to have also the Tentacruel in the back, and we're just going to take a look here on how good this Pokemon actually is. I would have stopped out here a little bit earlier, maybe as well into the Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini against the Zygarde is an amazing matchup for you. But let's take a look at this one. You're going to see that you can completely hardwall them. Like, theoretically, they would be able to learn the move Sludge Bomb, but as you're going to see here, they are not going to run it. It's fairly rare that you see a Sludge Bomb Gastrodon. I actually made a showcase about this one back in the day, I know, like a few months ago, but yeah, it's very, very rare to be seen as a Sludge Bomb user. Here we're going to see the Moonblast coming through, gonna get their knockout, and in comes the Giratina with a Dragon Breath. This is going to be an interesting one as well, as you're going to be able to double resist the fast move. You can just go for another charge move here, and you could even decide to use a shield here if you want to, but you decide to let this move go through. It's going to be the ancient power, and so you can only get to another Surf, which is going to not really do any damage here at all. But you can just go ahead, go into your Zygarde, go for the Crunch. Crunch should get them fairly low, and you can still shield up the Dragon Claw. It's still going to be a little bit of a trickier one here. You would have later on maybe the Blizzard, and I guess that might be your play. Yeah, you're going to let this move go through, and I guess you're going to try to go for the full farm down here with your Tentacruel against the opponent's Charizard. Best move for them, of course, is still the Blast Burn here, but you can see here as well, they're gonna go for the Dragon Claw, doesn't basically no damage at all. And this is why Tentacruel is so strong in the current meta. Having a great fast move, having great bulk, great typing, and great coverage is just too wild, as you see the Blizzard connecting here. This is going to be a very good boom. Let's move on to the second game. Let's see what they're going to run here. We're going to have the Dragonite in the lead. This is going to be a little bit of a trickier one, I would imagine, but and honestly, like, look. Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought it was like a really close one or whatever, but you see just the superior bulk of the Zygarde and how the opponent is forced to swap out. Like, this thing is insane. We're going to see the Jellicent swapping in, which is kind of okay for you because your backline is not really as ideal for it. You can easily take a charge move. It's a Surf. It doesn't do any damage at all. Like, it is a wild how strong Zygarde complete is. Honestly, like, this thing looks absolutely massive as well, but you can just let this move go through. You can still survive a Surf if they want to go for. You cannot survive a Shadow Ball, sadly, but you decide to swap out into your Tentacruel, getting some extra energy as the opponent decides to go into their Dragonite. I think they still get to a move. Yep, they do. You can let this move go through, and what you can do now is you can go for some Scalds against the opponent, which allows you to hopefully drop the opponent's attack. It's a 50% chance now, and you're not going to be able to get this, which is kind of sad. But later on, you're going to have your Tapu Fini against the opponent's Tapu Fini, and you don't get it twice. That's kind of mad, but you're still going to be able to just use a shield here and go for another one. But this game is over anyway, no matter what the opponent tries to do here. They are just gonna get too low. This is going to get shielded as well. Do we get the debuff now? We still don't get a debuff, and I thought my debuff luck is not really fortunate here, but we will see that the opponent decides to forfeit. Next opponent coming up, they actually, by the way, got up to the leaderboards with Zygarde complete, which is kind of what they said, that they went up to 2,550 with this team, so very cool team there. We're going to see the opponent having another Shadow Dragonite there. Going straight for the move, I guess, is a little bit of a misplay, because you always sneak in an extra fast move, which is really good for you. You can now go for a Crunch, gonna get the shield and the defense drop against the opponent, and you decide to use a shield, actually, to realign, which I guess can be very beneficial, especially as the opponent has a Tentacruel in the back, so you have to align your own Tentacruel against it. And you are not gonna get a debuff here, sadly, but they can still go for the knockout. But you're still going to have the health advantage now, which is kind of nice. They most likely going to outspeed you, but they're going to have a Registeel in the back. Oh, this is going to be sadly a loss, I would imagine, because I mean, you can still survive a Zap Cannon here, I guess. You can still go for 2 Surfs, but again, it's not going to be as great for you. It's going to be a close one, but I feel like there's actually still some play. Yes, you're going to get the attack drop here, which is not really ideal, but as long as the opponent is forced to throw a charge move here, I'm fairly certain you're going to be able to still reach a Scald with your other Pokemon there. You can still go for a Surf here. This is enough to knock them out. It's going to be a close one. It is not enough, and oh no, this is so bad. If they didn't get the debuff there, you would have been fine, but also just in general, like 1 HP or whatever it had. Oh, that was so unfortunate. Let's move on to the next game. Like, how many Shadow Dragon Knights do you want to encounter in a row? The algorithm says yes here. Definitely interesting. Again, the opponent overfarms by a little bit, but still gives you a free fast move, so that's great for you. We're going to see, I think there was a Venusaur swapping in, so basically your Tentacruel is kind of fine in the back. You don't get the debuff, which is kind of unfortunate. You're going to try to get to another move. Do you still survive a Frenzy Plant from this range? You do actually still survive that. That is a massive, like that is insane. We're going to see the crunch coming through, gonna get the shield, and you can just safely swap out here into your Tentacruel. You can go for the full farm down. You don't even have to shield here, it's just a normal, Venusaur, not even the shadow bonus. It still does a ton of damage, so you're going to be forced for the second one to shield it up. But, even if they go into the Dragonite, you can still go for your charge moves. They might want to shield this up. I don't think they will. Yeah, they don't. But you can maybe get the debuff onto the final Pokemon of the opponent, as you're going to see. That's going to be a Drapion, and this is going to be a very tricky for you. Unless they are running Crunch plus the Awkward Tail. Then it would be a very decent one for you, because then Tapu Fini kinda completely resists the charge moves of it. But if they're running Sludge Bomb, it might be a little bit of a trickier play here. So let's see what they're actually going to have. It's still going to be okay for you though, because you already got them fairly low. You were able to catch a move. Is this a Sludge Bomb? It is a Crunch. So you're going to completely hardball the charge moveset basically of the opponent, which is going to be so important for you because, never mind, I am completely wrong. That is a wild. You're still going to be able to win, but why did they not go straight for the Sludge Bomb, man? That was kind of wild, right? Like, honestly, I don't know, but like, still a good game there, was a nice one. At least Tentacruel really shows how strong it is as well. Like, honestly, the core of Tentacruel plus Zygarde seems so busted right now. Like, honestly, this thing is just insane. We're going to see the Giratina getting the defense drop here from the Crunch, which is really good for you, because Crunch plus, like, Stab, super effective Dragon Tail is just chunking away of the opponent's health. Great catch here onto the Tentacruel as well, as you can just go for the full farm down. The opponent swaps out into the Talonflame, which is amazing for you as well, because you can just go for the Scald. If you get the attack drop here, this would be even better for you. You're very unlucky so far with it, so hopefully you're gonna get it now, and you do get it here, which is going to be really nice. Because you can just let this move go through, even though it's a Brave Bird, it does not really matter. They're going to have the Poliwrath in the back, and Poliwrath usually does not run any coverage. I think it doesn't even have coverage against the Tapu Fini. Like, still, it's actually not even as ideal for you, because that can be a little bit tricky if the opponent gets a lot of Scald debuffs. But they don't get it for the first round, which is kind of nice. But you're still going to have a type advantage here. The issue is, though, I think actually Poliwrath doesn't have any coverage for the Tapu Fini. It has like Dynamic Punch, Icy Wind, Power Punch, Scald. So I think it also learns Hydro Pump. So like all of the moves are resisted from Tapu Fini, which is kind of funny. What is not so funny is that the opponent can still swap out into the Talonflame, and they're running Fly plus Brave Bird. Was I seeing this right? I think they are. Like, that is a wild. Like, what am I seeing here today? This is absolutely massive. We're going to see here the Icy Wind coming through, which does not matter because you can still go for the knockout, but I'm fairly certain they went for the Brave Bird before. Am I like tripping here? I don't know. Let's move on to the next game though. We will encounter Giratina in the lead. Going to be a fairly neutral lead again for you. You're going to be able to take neutral damage from the fast move while the opponent takes super effective damage. But still, Dragon Claw going to chunk quite a bit from your health. As you can see, the Crunch coming through. Crunch is going to be a great one for you, as it's going to be able to get the defense drop again. You might want to catch a move, but no, you can just go for the full farm afterwards, most likely. As you got a free fast move in, you're going to get the full farm now done. And you're going to be able to realign, which is kind of important here. Oh, that's going to be a tricky matchup for you in general. They're going to have the 9-Tails in the back. Going to be tricky for your lead, but also the Ampharos is something where you definitely want to have your lead Pokemon, the Zygarde, against, because you're going to triple resist Electric, which is really cool. But honestly, the Charmer going to be a little bit tricky. I think you can just go for the Earthquake here, to be honest. I don't think that the opponent going to decide to use a shield here at all. Oh, they actually do? Okay, never mind. I'm totally wrong. I wouldn't have done that if I was the opponent. Usually, Charm plus 1 shield is the better way to go for, but like this, the opponent does not really have any chance, I think, of winning this game. We're going to see a shield coming up here because it's going to be most likely the Psyshock, and we will see just one Moonblast is all it takes to knock them out at this range. So you're going to be in a great spot, and the opponent has basically nowhere to go, so this is going to be a good game. Next opponent coming up, let's see what they're going to run. We're going to see the Toxicroak here. That's going to be an interesting one for you. especially as you're going to now run Shadow Ball usually, I think, which is going to be neutral against you. But they're running just Mud Bomb, I guess. That's fine for you. You can go straight for the Earthquake, just getting like a safe knockout or like a safe shield advantage. You take the shield advantage here as well. It's just wild because the opponent is at lower HP as yourself, even though they used the shield already. So you're going to be in a great advantage here. And the opponent is even deciding to give up on switch advantage, which is going to be important for you because now you can align your own Tentacruel and the opponent gets the defense drop, which is even better for you as you can reach the Scald with your IVs. You're going to win CMP tie there. I have kind of similar IVs. I have a Hundo Tentacruel build for the Ultra League. But yeah, you're going to be able to easily win the CMP tie. The Scald is coming through from the opponent. Neither of you got like the debuff, which is kind of nice, but you can go straight for another Scald. Or you decide to go for the full farm down, I guess, which also could work, but like, oh, they didn't get the debuff, which is kind of important for you, but you still have to go for another charge move. So I would have just went straight for the charge move, most likely. But it's not really a misplay either, because you're going to get out another Zygarde, which is kind of wild. But at least you're going to have a great answer for this one. The Toxic Rock is coming in, you're going to use a safe shield here, and I still think you're going to be fine. Shadow Ball is coming through, you're going to see the full farm down now. Zygarde against Tapu Fini, there's no lot that they can do here. I think they're just going to try to let this move go through, thinking that it might be a surf, and yes, it's going to be a good game, especially with the attack drop there. This usually just happens to me, but good game there. Next opponent coming through, let's see what they're going to run. We're going to have a Tentacruel in the lead. Great for you because you're going to be able to resist the fast move of the opponent while still having the super effective Earthquake in the back for them. You're going to see the opponent going for a Scald here, not even going up to the Blizzard, and they're going to get the attack drop immediately. But you can force a shield from the opponent, and you have to stay in this matchup because you cannot really be in this matchup later on with the Tapu Fini. Great that you're gonna get the Earthquake connecting against the opponent, but it's kind of unfortunate that you had the debuff there because otherwise it would have knocked them out. But like this, you're gonna get even more farm, which is amazing. In comes the Poliwrath, and actually you could just go ahead and swap out, I would say. Yeah, you can just swap out into your Tentacruel. You have two great answers for Poliwrath in the back, so like, it is kind of fair to save your ground type just in case there's another electric type in the back or something like this. But we will see that the opponent decides to still stay in, so they're going to be double weak against the Tentacruel, which we can know by this, as they're going to have a Greninja in the back. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit weak against the Tentacruel as the fast move does neutral damage. The opponent's fast move and like main damaging move, Hydro Cannon, is going to be resisted. Plus you can get the debuff onto them, but also you're going to have a Tapu Fini in the back, which is even going to have a better matchup. So yeah, you're going to be in a great spot at this point of time. The opponent goes on another Night Surge there, so you can just go for the Scald. This is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. You swap onto the Tapu Fini, saving your Tentacruel, and you can just let every move go through. Everything is resisted, and you can just go for a Surf, which is going to get the knockout if they let this move go through. They could just shield this move up, which they do, but honestly, it feels like it's impossible for them to win this game at this point, as we will see the Hydro Cannon coming through here, connecting. We see the Poliwrath coming in there. It does not really matter if they go for Scald or Icy Wind. They're gonna go for Scald. You can just go for even the full farm down. I don't think you would have been able to get this done here either, so great thing that you threw a charge move, and at this point the opponent's Greninja has nowhere to go. Even the Zygarde is going to be able to win this game with using a shield and getting the fast move through. So let's move on to the next game. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a Poliwrath in the lead, kinda annoying for you because they have Ice-type coverage, and so it's going to be a great matchup for the opponent. Which is even more annoying here is going to be that they're going to have the Registeel in the back, which is gonna be a trickier one for this team in general. I guess Zygarde is okay for it, but you actually decide to use a shield here. I'm kinda curious on how you kinda want to play this game out. You were lucky that you didn't get the debuff here from the Zap Cannon. I guess if you get a debuff on them here with a Scald, you might be able to survive a Zap Cannon, and I guess, yes, this might be your play here. Never mind, your play is to just completely two-shield through it. But it's just wild that you never get any debuffs here, which is really crazy. But we can see another Scald coming through. Most likely gonna get another debuff here, hopefully. Let's see, it does. And so you can easily survive this next charge move from the opponent, which I guess works out well for you because now you get the attack drop, which doesn't really matter anymore. But you can still go for a Scald and force the opponent to go for another shield, but they're going to decide to let this move go through, which allows you to realign. You can even still go for a Scald, and if this is going to get the attack drop, the opponent is going to be in trouble. Let's see, it does get the attack drop, which is going to be amazing for you, because now you can go into the Tapu Fini, you can align the Zygarde against the Skuntank, and Skuntank usually does not have any kind of coverage for it, because, like, I mean, Crunch is the best move that they can go for, but as you can see here, Zygarde does not really care too much about the Crunch. We can see a Crunch coming through from your Zygarde, though, and this is going to get no shielded, and they get the immediate defense drop here, which is amazing because now you can easily farm them down, not throwing anything, just going to go for the full farm down. You can still go for an Earthquake against the opponent's Poliwrath, and Zygarde is just going to town. Like, this Pokemon is just so insane. I'm still not gonna do routes for it though. Like, let me know in the comment section how many routes have you done, like how many Zygarde cells do you have. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I have exactly 6, which is not even close to getting any Zygarde even 50% from. But let's move on to the final battle for today. Final battle, we're going to see the Cresselia, which is basically a core breaker kinda. I still feel like you're going to have an okay matchup with your Zygarde though. As they decide to go for the Moonblast, it does not even do half of your health, and the opponent decides to swap out into the Greninja. Do you go into your... oh, you're actually going to stay in here. Now you're going to decide to swap out into the Tapu Fini. I guess they can resist every kind of charge move here, so it does not really matter if they have some more energy. And so you're going to be able to just go ahead and go for some Surfs, I guess. Or do you go for the Moonblast? I'm not sure about it. I would maybe just go for the Surf, because I feel like you can just go for the Farm down afterwards, after a Surf. Surf does around like the same amount that they do with a Hydro Cannon, because the opponent is way squishier than you are. And as you can see here, you can just go for the Surf and go for the full Farm down, as said before. And you can even reach... No, this is going to be really unfortunate. Like, the extra damage of the charge move would have been amazing for you, but... yeah, it's going to be a tough one now against the Cresselia for the final one. We're going to see the swap into, I didn't even see it, some counter use. I think most likely Poliwrath. It is Poliwrath. Like, everybody is using Poliwrath right now. And you can swap out into the Tentacruel, as you're going to be able to resist any kind of charge move again, which is kind of funny. Scald coming through, going to be resisted here, as he can just go for the full farm down and hopefully get some debuffs against the opponent's first Pokemon there. Scald coming through as well, they get the debuff, which is okay, which is kind of fair, I guess, and the Cresselia is coming back in. And with a Scald debuff, I think the Moonblast does not do enough damage, maybe. Like, maybe you need 2 debuffs though. But we will see another charge move coming through, so maybe it does get the debuff. We will see, nah, sadly not 2 attack drops against the opponent here, but you can just let this move go through. Or you're going to use a shield onto a Moonblast. So they're running Future Sight plus Moonblast, which we now know, because like Grass Knot would have been easily enough from this range. We're going to get another attack drop, and I think with 2 attack drops, this might be enough to live this move here. And you do live this move, and it shows just how strong the Zygarde is. So yeah, thanks for staying in those battles. This was absolutely insane. Zygarde complete is just wild. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you later for the new cup that's coming up, the Holiday Cup. So see you then. Bye bye.